Good morning, Wildcats!
As you know, we've been celebrating Women's History Month. This is our last segment of the celebration of women of history.
Enjoy.
Good morning, Wildcats. I am Kira Romero, and today we are going to pay tribute to Barbara Jordan. She was the first Southern African American woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. She was in the forefront for the civil rights movement. Jordan was determined to change the lives of her people by helping usher through the state's first law on minimum wage. She was also the chair of one of the most important committees in U.S. history, the Watergate Committee. They held impeachment hearings about the President Richard Nixon. Thank you for listening to our segment, and now back to our anchors.
Good morning. Today we pay tribute to one of the most beloved figures of the 20th century, former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt was the wife of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. She had a pivotal role as a human rights activist for all people, as she redefined the role of the First Lady. She advocated for equal rights for women and minorities. She held press conferences where she spoke out for human rights and penned her own column titled My Day. After leaving the White House in 1945, Mrs. Roosevelt became chair of the United Nations Human Rights Commission. In this role, she helped write one of the most important documents of the 20th century, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Today, we recognize the contributions of Eleanor Roosevelt. Thank you, and back to our anchors.
Good morning, Wildcats. Today we celebrate the contributions of the great contralto Marian Anderson. She was born on February 27, 1897, and became one of the most celebrated singers of the 20th century. Marian Anderson came into the spotlight when she was not given permission to sing at the Constitution Hall by the Daughters of the American Revolution. With the help of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt and the help of her husband Franklin Roosevelt, she sung on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial April 9, 1939, to a crowd of more than 75,000 and a radio audience of the millions. So today we celebrate the contributions of the great contralto singer Marian Anderson. Now back to Wilson and Simon.
Good morning, Wildcats. I am here today with
Miss Hendricks.
And the question that we're asking people is, what historical figure that is a female do they look up to?
I look up to a female artist from the 18th century, Elizabeth Vigée-Lebrun. She was one of the few independent women artists of the time period when women had no rights and had very little chance to have a good job. Her father actually saw her talent and sent her to an art school where she became a very well-known artist, and eventually she became the court painter for Marie Antoinette. She was very lucky because during the Revolution, she did not lose her head. She and her husband actually escaped and left France during the war. They only returned after Napoleon had been defeated. So she is one of my female heroes in the art world.
Wow. Well, thank you for including us on who your favorite female historical figure is.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations.
Good morning, Wildcats. I am Christopher Lemus.
And I'm Michael McFarland.
Today we recognize Mary C. Jameson.
Jameson, amongst many other things, was most famous for being the first African-American woman to travel into space when she went into orbit aboard the space shuttle Endeavour on September 12, 1992.
Jameson is a very important figure in the African American space program and community. So today we recognize what she did for African Americans everywhere. Thank you, Wildcats. Now back to the anchors.
Good morning, Wildcats. Today, I want to talk about a woman who I consider one of my role models, Missy Elliott. She was born on July 1st, 1971 in Portsmouth, Virginia. Her birth name is Melissa Arnetta Elliott. This powerful black woman is a positive role model who projects strength, confidence, and female empowerment. She is one of the best advocates for female rappers. Her first major success came as a songwriter. In addition, she knocked down the body standards for women and overcame the barriers of a tough childhood. One of the things I admire most is the way she dresses. This lady isn't scared of showing off her boyish, girlish style, which sends out a message to other women that says, what you wear shouldn't define who you are. Fun facts. Missy Elliott has won 4 Grammy Awards and has been labeled as a hip-hop bounty pusher. Today, we pay tribute to one of my role models, Missy Elliott. Thank you. Now back to our anchors.
Good morning, Wildcats. I am Malcolm McFarland.
And I'm Christopher Lemus.
Today we are here to recognize 3 wonderful women, Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson.
Not only the first African American women to work in the higher ranks of NASA, but also played huge roles in helping the first man, John Glenn, orbit Earth during the Great Space Race.
Katherine Johnson was a teens mathematician. Dorothy Vaughan was the head of the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. And Mary Jackson was a mathematician and aerospace engineer.
Their work not only helped a great deal, but inspired and empowered African American women and made them feel like they could do anything they wanted to do so. Today, we thank them for everything they did.
On November 24th, 2015, Katherine Johnson received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Wow, what an inspiration. If you want more information, check out the movie Hidden Figures, which premiered December 25th, 2016. Thank you, Wildcats, and now back to the anchors.
Good morning, Wildcats. As the last days of Women's History Month approaches, we celebrate the contributions of the great Michelle Obama. She was born on January 17, 1964, and became one of the most celebrated First Ladies of the 21st century. Michelle Obama's greatest contributions were bringing awareness on the importance of staying healthy. She founded the Let's Move movement in an effort to fight childhood obesity. She also created the Reach Higher initiative, which encourages students to further education past high school. So today, we celebrate the contributions of my hero, the former First Lady, Michelle Obama. And now back to our anchor, Demarius.